You came around every night in my soul. You guided me out of the storm. I found home in your arms of gold.
All right, we're going to get ready to go. Scott Haas is in the house. Risa? Oh my God. All right, we're getting ready to go live here on Instagram, on Facebook too. So, all right, we are live on all the platforms. I hope that you are doing incredible this Sunday, this day. This is the 5th day of the 10 days of money momentum. This is the halfway point. So hopefully you've been enjoying it. We've got the replays up. If you missed any of them or you want to go back through them and you want to make sure that you're on the list to get access to the link for the replays, just go to melabraham.com/momentum. If you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram, you can just type in momentum and we'll make sure that we send it to you in the link. So say hello when you come in and everything. We're gonna jump in on day number 5. We've got 5 more days through Friday this week to really start to dial in. We're gonna be digging deeper and deeper each day. And remember, this whole idea was 10 days of micro steps, 10 days of micro exercises, 10 days of resetting your money for 2024, for this year, in a way that allows you to look back when we're done in 12 months and go, this was a good year. My desire for you, with all the content we're going to be doing on my show, the Affluent Entrepreneur Show, doing these lives, doing different things, is to make sure that we make this year, these next 12 months, a breakthrough year for you financially. All right. And if that's something that you're game for, you say, let me know. And so here's the way that this will play out. All right. Today's prompt, Melissa's back. So good to see you again. Today's prompt was micro successes create momentum with each step getting easier. So this is actually the key to getting money momentum is to take micro steps and get micro successes. Here's what we found over the years, and with the things that we've seen, is that people will set these big numbers, okay? Financial Foundation Strength, Patricia, we're going to get you there. We're going to get you there. Stay with me on this journey. We've got so much coming this year and beyond, for you. It's going to be game changing. This is a big year. So that's my commitment to you. If you commit to me, we'll do this journey together. Here's what happens is that I will get people that will come in. I'll spend some time with them. They'll have a conversation with me, and I'll say, "What's your goal? What's your number? Where do you want to be?" And they come up with these lofty goals. Lofty goals. 10 million, 5 million, even $1 million can feel like it's out of touch. Okay. And it could be money goals. It could be other goals. It could be, I want to lose 40 pounds. I want to lose 50 pounds. Okay. The challenge is that we have already been told, and statistics show that literally 6 weeks into the new year, any resolutions, they're typically gone. Okay. Here's a study from the University of Scranton. University of Scranton said 92% quit their goals. Okay. That means that only 8% hit their goals. 8, less than 10, less than 1 in 10. But let's get really clear, because I'm a stickler for words. Here's what they said. 92% quit their goals. They said they quit their goals. They didn't say they didn't reach their goals. They gave up. They gave up. All right? That's the only way to never hit your goals, is to give up. Here's the number one reason that they gave up their goals. The number one reason that they quit their goals that they gave was overwhelm. Overwhelm. Here's why we get overwhelmed, is because we set these big goals and there is so much that has to be done that we just can't get it done. We don't know where to start, and we get overwhelmed and we stop and we do nothing. You might be in debt. You might be in a hole. You might be investing, but you're not getting to where you want to be fast enough. And so you have this big lofty goal to get, and because it's so far away, because it is so large, and there's so many things that you need to do. I got to get out of debt. I got to start putting money away. I got to pay off my mortgage. I got to save for the kids college. I got to get a new car. All this stuff that's coming at you, all of a sudden, we stop. We stop. And it's not because you can't achieve it. It's just because we threw too much on the plate at one time. Okay? We threw too much on the plate at one time. See, what we really need to do is do things in steps, in little steps. All right, John Grisham. Anyone know who John Grisham is? You should. John Grisham, when he first started out, was an attorney. And he decided he didn't want an attorney anymore. He just decided that he wanted to be an author. He wanted to be a writer. But he didn't know how to do it. Look, I know what it's like to write a book. I've written multiple books. I'm on number 4 right now, which is being published June 11th. Okay. Y'all are going to be on this journey with me when this book comes out. Building the Money Machine. That's not the cover. Maybe it is. I don't know. We're going to work on it, and I'm going to bring the covers to you to vote on. But here's the deal. In order to write a book, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of time. And John Grisham knew that. So what did he do? He wanted to become an author. And so what he committed to was to write one page every day. One page every day. Drew Hitchcock is in the house. Woo-hoo. So he wrote one page a day for 1 year. And that was his first book. And that first book was A Time to Kill and put John Grisham on the map. But had he not broke it down into steps, he wouldn't have gotten it done. I do this a lot in my life, and it was just something that came natural to me, and I don't know where it came from. For instance, when I was studying for the CPA exam, for those of you that don't know, the CPA exam, back when I took the CPA exam, which was a long time ago, okay, it was a 4-day exam. There was no calculators. You had to do all calculations by hand. It was all done in pencil, okay? And you got those little blue books. I don't know if you remember those in college and school, the essay books. Oh my God, if I see them, just like, So, but you had to pass all 4 parts to get your CPA license. And the likelihood of passing all 4 parts in the first sitting is very, very small. So what they allowed you to do is pass 2 parts, and then you could take the other 2 later if you needed to. But I was still in college. So I was taking 18 units in college. It was my last year in college, and I decided I wanted to take the CPA exam while I was still in college. Okay. Not really smart, but what the heck. But here's what I knew is I had 3 months between that day and the exam. And I had this body of knowledge I had to digest and I had to master. All the study books, all the study guides, all of that. And so what I did is I said, let me take all of the stuff I need to know for the exam, and I have 90 days. 90 days. How do I allocate all this stuff down to a day at a time, just like John Grisham did? And I sat in the library at the college. It was called the Oviatt Library at the time. I was part of a fraternity, so I literally would go into the library in the morning, and I would study from morning to evening. And my fraternity brothers and the little sisters, they would bring me snacks, they would bring me lunch, and they would bring me dinner. So I never left other than go to the restroom. All right. But every day, meticulously, I sat back and said, I got to master this piece. Okay, got it. Let me go to this piece. Got it. And I kept going. And I just methodically walked through it over 90 days. And then I took the exam. And I passed all 4 parts before graduating college. So I had the CPA exam passed before I finished college, which is really, really unusual. But this is more about, and I don't consider myself, I consider myself, intelligent, but I don't think I'm different than anyone else, except that I knew how to prepare for tests, except I knew how to prepare for things in a way that allowed me to do it. So I broke it down into pieces and to get it done. And so the question that we need to look at when we talk about money, when we talk about our finances, when we talk about anything in our life that is large, that can be overwhelming, we have to break it down into steps. We're gonna talk about my rock stepping stones framework to help you through that, so you understand how this thing will go. If you're trying to get out of debt, if anyone's got debt in here and you're trying to get out of debt, it's the same thing. You may be buried in debt. I had a conversation with someone just the other day, $300,000 in student loan debt. $300,000 in student loan debt. That's a lot. It's going to take a little bit to get out of it. So it's not going to be solved overnight. But with a proper plan in place, with a proper process in place, with a proper discipline in place, and we specifically do something towards that every day, every week, every month, it will be extinguished. It'll go away and everything. So here's the thing: whether you're in a hole, we'll help you dig out of the hole. And once you dig out of the hole, then we help you build the mountain. But it has to be methodical and over time. And that's why this prompt is so important, is that the challenge is that most of the time, and if you're in debt, just really quickly, if you're in debt and you want to try to make sure, how do I put that plan together? Here's what I want you to do. I have something called the Debt Breakthrough Calculator. It's totally free. You can go to melabraham.com/no debt, or you can comment no debt if you're on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll send you the link so you can get it. Totally free. You'll put all your debt in there, all your credit cards, all the stuff in there. It will put a spreadsheet together for you with the payments that you want to do. It's going to tell you whether you want to do it on a snowball method or an avalanche method. There's a couple different ways to do it, but then you got your plan. And just like I did with the CPA exam, then you just follow the plan. You pay that this week, you pay this week, you pay this week, and we get you out of it one step at a time. One step at a time. Okay? The challenge is why we get this way, and where there's a problem is that when we set big goals, we have to break it down into micro steps so we can have micro successes. Because the mistake that we make is we tend to want to celebrate the achievement, the accomplishment of something. And I totally get that. But what we fail to do is celebrate the progress towards something. And I think we should be looking at progress as well as achievement. It's called the progress principle. And so something that there was a Harvard professor, I think her name was, Teresa Amabile. I'm probably butchering the name, but she's a Harvard professor. She studied 7 companies to understand when they felt they had a good day or a bad day. The good day or the bad day. And so there was 12,000 entries into the database to kind of decide whether it's a good day or bad day. And the key behind all of it was not the achievement, but that they felt like they made progress. So on the good days, they felt like they made progress. And this is why I think that we need to celebrate some things. This is why micro successes are so important. It's one of the things that we tend to not do. Listen, think about this. I've been in the martial arts for 40 plus years, lived in Japan, trained in Japan. These are my certificates from Japan. They didn't really have a belt system there. When the martial arts were moved to here, to the Western world, they started to put the belt system in. And one of the biggest reasons they put the belt system in is because they were celebrating progress. And it was reminding them how far we've come. And so if we don't celebrate progress, we don't realize how far we've come. And in the process, you don't realize how much you've grown. See, when we're making progress, we're growing, we're learning, we're skilling up, we're knowledging up, we're understanding, we're doing things very, very differently. Okay? That's what ends up happening is by the time you get to the achievement, when you celebrate the progress, you're actually a different person. Think about this. It's the resistance that causes you to build muscle. It's the resistance that causes you to build muscle. No different. Why do you think it is that the majority of people that win a lottery, they come into a windfall of cash, whether it's lottery, inheritance, or something like that? Why do you think that within a number of years, they lose it all? Here's why. They were not prepared and they were not skilled up to handle the success. See, your journey financially, you have a set point. You have a comfort zone. I truly believe that we actually have multiple comfort zones. Okay? They're not the same. You have a financial comfort zone. You have a relational comfort zone. You have a physical proximity comfort zone. You have a knowledge comfort zone. And what allows us to do more, to do better, to grow, to do things is to push up slowly against the walls of the comfort zone. And you may sit back and say, I've never made over $100,000. And the problem is if you make $1 million and you jump, you obliterated the walls of your comfort zone, which also means that you didn't get the skills necessary to keep it. So the slow move with the micro successes that slowly pushes your comfort zone out, the walls out, is developing you to be the person you need to be to have the success that you desire to have. And so we want to push the walls out of the comfort zone slowly. Now, how do we do that? There's four things. Four things. Education. Y'all are here. Y'all are going to get my book. You're all part of the show, part of Mother Journey, all that stuff. Education, mentoring, training, actual training. Whoo, I got balloons. And conversations. Having a dialogue. Having a dialogue that's meaningful. Okay. So this is why we do this is that it's important for us to consider how we are building our wealth, and it's step by step, micro success, micro step at a time. So I want to walk you through effectively 6 steps on how to do this. This is what I call my rocks to stepping stones framework. Okay. So it's important for you to realize that the mindset to create wealth is different than the mindset to keep wealth. Okay. The mindset to create wealth is different than the mindset to keep wealth. And it's important to understand that. So I want you to take one of your goals. And if you haven't set any goals for 2024 or for this year, now's the time, or after we're done here. So this is the process you're going to go through. Step one, you're going to pick a big goal. Okay? Pick a big goal. What's your big goal? And it could be down the road. It could be down the road. It's not something that you're going to do just in 30 days, 90 days. Okay? And then step 2 is once I know what that goal is to ask yourself this question. What must be true about me, about my environment, about my skills for that goal to become a reality? Okay? What must be true for it to be a reality? And when you understand that, now you sit back and say, okay, so these are the things in step 2 that I need to take care of. And I'm going to give you an example of with finances so you understand how this plays out. Now we know, here's the goals, step 1. Here's what needs to be true, step 2, to make it a reality. So step 3 is what actions move me closer to that reality? What actions move me closer to that reality? So let me give it to you a different way. You start with the big vision, which is abstract and large, and it's typically out there 10 years, a decade, something like that. Okay. Then we take that big vision and we say, what are the big rocks that have to be real? Those big rocks are things that need to be in place out 3 years or more. Okay. And I'll walk you through an example of this when it comes to building wealth. Then we look at the big rocks and we say, okay, what are the small rocks that can make the big rocks real? The small rocks are things that can get done within 1 to 3 years. And now I have a group of small rocks. And now I look at it and say, well, what are the stepping stones to make the small rocks real? Those are the things that you need to do in 30, 60, or 90 days. And then we simply focus on stepping stones, knowing that if we hit these stepping stones, we hit the small rocks. And if we hit the small rocks, we hit the big rocks. If we hit the big rocks, we hit the vision. But if we stare at the vision, a lot of people say, well, put it on your vision board and put it up there and stare at it and all that. That's fine. But until we break it down to what are the steps you need to take in 30, 60, 90 days, we are not moving closer to it. I don't care how much you contemplate it. I don't care how much you meditate on it. It's just not going to happen. That's just not the reality of it. Hate to break the news to you. We're going to have to do some things. And in all likelihood, if it's not in our life already, that means that we're going to have to do some different things, which pushes up against our comfort zone wall. And then step one is the big goal. Step two is what needs to be true to be a reality. Step three is what actions will move you closer. Step four is what is the first step you can take today. We never leave a planning session, a goal setting session, a vision session without knowing what the first step is that we're going to take today. That's step four. Step five is to calendar the steps. So now you've set the steps out, put them on that calendar. I've got a book launch, June 11th. I have a calendar from now to June 30th and beyond, all around the book. So I know when things have to happen. I've got every step calendared. But if I don't do that, I'm going to either misstep or I'm just not going to be as effective as I want to be. And I want to make sure that I get the book in as many hands as possible because it's going to change lives. It's going to change lives. Calendar the steps. And then step 6, celebrate the micro successes along the way. Recognize the fact that you're moving forward. Recognize the fact that you're doing well. Recognize the fact that you're making progress. You may not have done the whole achievement, but you're making progress. Let's look at this from a finance standpoint. Let's say that I want to, my vision is to build a $2 million net worth. Okay. And I want to retire and I want to have $2 million liquid and all that. So that means that in say 10 years, so the big rocks over 3 years, in 10 years, my home needs to be mortgage free. That means that I need to pay off the home. Number 2, in 10 years, I need to have at least $1 million in my retirement account and at least $1 million in other investments. So those are the big rocks. That's down the road. And if I have all of that, then I will hit the goal. So now we look at it and say, okay, what are the little rocks? So we'll take some of the little rocks. Remember, little rocks are 1 to 3 year goals. Okay, so the little rocks, let's just take one, is to maybe hit to max out my 401k, to max out my retirement, but also the little rocks is I need to have a debt payment pay down plan because that's going to get me out of any credit card debt or mortgage debt. I need to have a plan. So I have to set a debt payment plan in place as one of the small rocks. I need to have a specific advisor to help me. So I'm going to have to start interviewing advisors, and we can talk about that in another session. I want to increase my investing each month, each year, to get me to have the $1 million in the retirement and $1 million in other investments. And the way I want to do that is my 1% rule, is to increase my 1% by 1% each month, each quarter, until I'm maxing out at 25%. So these are my small rocks. I want to evaluate the numbers and where I'm at every single month. And I want to have a monthly money date. And I know that if I do those things, those are the little rocks that will make the big rocks true. Hopefully this is making sense. Then from there, I can take one of them and say, let's break it down to the stepping stones. So what are the stepping stones maybe for the debt payment plan? Well, maybe one of the things that I'm going to do is in the next 30 to 90 days, I'm going to call up all my credit card companies and see about negotiating the interest rate or the payments on it. And so now I set those down into stepping stones, into action items. And now my focus is on the stepping stone, taking one step in front of the other, knowing that if I hit those stepping stones, I'll hit the small rocks. And if I hit the small rocks, I hit the big rocks. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Your money game is won in small steps consistently done. Let me say it again. Your money game is won in small steps consistently done. $50 a week will turn into $300,000 in 30 years. You put that up to $800 a month, and it'll be over $1 million. It doesn't take a lot to make a lot. It takes consistency, time, discipline, and taking action. So create the dream. Let the dream inform the plan, and let the plan dictate the actions, and the actions will give you the results. That's the game you're playing. That's the game you're playing. It's the only way to do it. We got to stop swinging for the fences. You got to stop swinging for the fences. When I tried to swing for the fence, it turned out to be a Ponzi scheme. It cost me 1/3 of everything I own. Now, I'm not saying not to take risks. What I am saying is take the appropriate risk for where you're at in your circumstances. It is why when we start to talk about investing, like I got someone that asked me about an investment. He says, I got extra money to invest. What do I do? I said, I can't tell you that yet. I don't know enough. I need to understand your risk tolerance. I need to understand your risk capacity. I need to understand your risk need. I need to understand your circumstances. I need to understand your vision, because I can't help you make a decision if I don't know the destination and the baggage you're carrying. We got to understand all of that. So it isn't just as, hey, what do I invest in? No, it's bigger than that, because this isn't just about a bank account. This isn't about a brokerage account. This is about your life. This is about creating something worth that is meaningful, that is powerful, that is generationally changing. It's about creating a money machine that will sustain you and the people beyond you, the missions, the movements, and doing it one step at a time. It's worthwhile to invest in a consistent process to end up where you want to be. All right, I get passionate about this stuff. Oh, man, get me fired up. So, all right. So that's where this whole prompt comes from. And why it's so important is I want you to just focus on the stepping stones once you build that, and then celebrate your progress. And don't get discouraged because maybe you hadn't got to the destination yet. It'll take a little bit. It'll take a little bit. So we just need to validate that we are on the journey. And And if you want to celebrate with someone, then you get in our community and celebrate. We'll celebrate you. I don't care whether you turn around and say, maybe you've never put any money into an account before. And all of a sudden, you turned around and says, I put $10 in an account. I'm going to celebrate you because that's $10. It's not the amount that matters. It's the fact that you are starting a behavior that's going to turn into a habit, and that habit is going to turn into your wealth. So it's worth celebrating. Every step of progress is worth celebrating. Now, here's the deal. Let me be really clear. How do we celebrate, y'all? Let's say that you landed a big project, and all of a sudden you got an extra $1,000 that came in. You go, whoo, I didn't expect that. I got $1,000. All right. In order to celebrate that win, you don't go and spend $1,500 to celebrate the $1,000 win. Okay. We got to be smart about it, or we celebrate our wealth away. All right, y'all. I hope that this helps. I hope that you're having fun. I'm having fun. I enjoy the heck out of this. I enjoy serving you. I enjoy being part of this journey with you, and everything. So let me see if there's some questions, and we'll open this thing up, and I'll answer some questions, and we'll go from there. All right, y'all. So Russell Watson, it's been a while, my friend. I hope you're well. Says, thank you. Thankfully, I'm debt-free and I have 9 months in my emergency fund, high interest savings funds, thanks to your advice. Working on filling that to a 1-year fund. My friend, Russell, keep doing it, man. You are crushing it. You're doing well. And I'm glad that I had a little bit to do with it. You did all the heavy lifting, man. So, all right, let's see. What is this? There's no debt, no more. Melissa's no debt. I own my home, but it's around growing my practice in rural New England. Well, we need to put a plan in place for that. I think Melissa is just really starting to understand what does that plan look like? So there will be a wealth plan. This is a really good question, and my doggy's home right now. So this is a really good question. Is that there'll be a wealth plan. This is your master wealth plan. Okay. This is why when I work with my elite clients one-on-one, I'm basically a family CFO. I don't want to just focus on their personal, and I don't want to just focus on their business. I want to focus on all of it because it all works together. So there's this master wealth plan. This is your money machine. This is what's going to be the generational wealth. This is where your freedom, your control, all the things are going to come into. Okay. Then you have your business, your practice, if you will. That's the earnings machine. That's the thing that will create your wealth if run properly. So you'll have the master wealth plan, but on the earnings machine, we need to create a strategic execution plan, something that allows us to not just scale the revenue, but scale the profits and cash flow. Because the earnings machine is meant to optimize cash flow by optimizing your value to the world. And we talked about that already. Okay. And so what we need to do for you, Melissa, is to sit back and say, hey, how do we create a plan for scaling and optimizing your cash flow in the business, and then put that in with the wealth plan for your money machine. Okay. Liz, are you still doing Friday coffee chats? I am not doing Friday coffee chats. I have not done coffee chats for a couple months now, but coming back. I'll let you know when. So I will be doing regular lives like this, where I'm answering questions for you, and it's going to be basically almost like a call-in show, but not. Where we show up and I'm there with you, and we will do that regularly. Like I said, remember I said I'm going to be here with you guys. This 12-month journey, I want this to be a breakthrough year for you financially, and if I can guide you, we'll make it happen. All right, Norma Rodriguez, woo-hoo, so good to have you here. All right, Is it Rhoda? I'm about to start an emergency fund. I haven't had a wealth plan yet. That's okay. So here's the thing. We're going to talk a little bit about the wealth priority ladder in an upcoming in one of the upcoming series. We'll talk about it. But your first job, okay, when we first start out, the first thing that I want everyone to do is to get 1 month's expenses or $1,500, whichever's greater, into an account. And it's not your emergency fund. This is I don't have to break the glass, go into debt if the transmission goes out. This is to allow you to take care of unexpected things. 60+ % of people say they do not have the ability to pay for a unexpected expense of $600 or more. I don't want that for you. And so that first $1,500 might not be something you earn. It might be something you look around and go, I don't use that. Let me sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Okay. If you just don't tell my wife, it's our secret. But if we just went through those doors there and saw the technology in there that I'm not using, if I needed to get some money, I could cash that out. And I bet that you all have something too. But so if I need to get a bumper, if I need to get a cushion, look at the stuff around your house that you're not using. It could be a bike, it could be technology, and sell it. Put that money in a high yield savings account. You got your $1,500 comfort fund. Now we can focus on some of the other things. Now we can focus on the peace of mind fund, as I call it, or emergency fund, and making sure that we're getting rid of the destructive debt. Okay. But Rhoda, you're on the right track. You're doing the right things. Let's keep it going. Let's celebrate you every step of the way. So good. All right. Other questions? Anything else coming on? Let me just see. Yeah. Congrats. Okay. When I did that, I started seeing dollar signs instead of stuff. Yeah, isn't that right? You start looking around, you go, I bet I could get that, and you start seeing dollar signs instead of stuff that's just sitting collecting dust. So true. No one's buying around here. Melissa, where do you live? You're in a small town, I guess. You might be able to ship it. Depends what it is. So, all right. Other questions? Anything else that you want to go over? We can make it happen too. I've got a little bit more time. Had a great time with my grant in Vermont. Where in Vermont are you? I've never been to Vermont. I hear it's beautiful, but I've never been. But I bet it's cold now. I'm a California kid. If it's below 70, it's like I should be in the Antarctic, it feels like. I know, I'm spoiled. I'm a beach dude. Yeah. I see a few people requesting to come on live video. I won't. If you have a question, post the question, then we can see if it's something that we want to bring on live. I won't just bring anyone on live just for the sake of it. Male booyah. Killington, never heard of it. Dining room table and beer. Oh, that's not going to be easy to ship. Not going to be able to do that. It's got to be local. Dang. Happy Sunday. Greater Self is in the house. Anything else? Other questions? Anything else that we want to go over before we close out? We got some fun stuff coming up. So tomorrow, we're going to talk about the ABC method of claiming and reclaiming and owning your time. And then we'll start getting into investing. 8 rules of investing on day 7. Wealth priority ladder, day 8. Day 9 is building your money machine. And day 10, we'll talk about the 9 accelerators. So I hope that this helps. Yeah, I love this. Hey, y'all, the other thing you can do for me is if you know people that are struggling or want to try and take care of their finances and have a breakthrough year, let's invite them. Let's bring more people on to have this conversation, and we can make it happen, and keep supporting each other. So no one is in this alone. We're going to have a common conversation, an open conversation, a safe conversation. No one gets demonized because of past financial decisions, and no one demonizes money because money is going to allow us the opportunity to live true to the movements, the missions, the things that we are supposed to be. Here's the thing. You can't be as good as you're meant to be until you are all you are meant to be. And we become all we're meant to be when we have the ability to dedicate our time, live intentionally, and grow personally to take the unique gifts. Because I truly believe that each of us were given a specific gift to bring to the world. And it is that we're here to do. And we need to have the space, the time, and the ability to put it in the world in the biggest way possible and give that gift to the world. And having that money machine will allow you the options and the choice to take what is truly yours and only yours and uniquely yours and give it to the world in a big way. And then you know that each moment mattered. Then you know that you did what you were supposed to do here, and that you had that option to do that. That's why we do this. That's why we do. Okay. None of this has worked for me. To me, I look at it like I'm flying to Nashville. I'm speaking at a conference, and to me, it's just service. It's just service, and I feel like I'm in alignment, congruent with what I'm supposed to do. I'm living my calling, which is a gift. It feels good. So, let's see. Dickinson Fine Art, I know you. I'd love to be on your book launch team. I've been on several. Ziza, you will be. Stay tuned. We are going to put a book launch team together, and I'd love to have all of you on it. So whoever wants to, let's do this. I'll do some special training. We'll have some special conversations. We're putting it all together. So stay in tune for all of that. Cool. All right. Any other questions? Anything else going on? Melissa, you keeping track of the time? I love it. I love it. Yep. Let's increase the value. Let's get you paid more. Let's get you paid your worth, because the bigger the shovel we have of income, the easier it is to get out of the hole, the easier it is, and the faster it is to reach your wealth goals. Okay. All right, y'all. Beautiful. Cool. All right, man. Then here's what we're going to do. I'm going to close this one out. We will be back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. We'll drop another prompt for you. Like I said, we're going to talk about owning your time in a different way. And then at 4 o'clock, I go live. At 4 o'clock, I go live again. We'll have this conversation. We got 5 more days of this week to put this out there. Remember, ain't nothing to sell. I just want you to grab a hold of your dreams. I want us to reset the money game for you this year and forever. I want you to be able to look forward to a different year and then look backwards and say, things are changed. I want you to be the inflection point in your family tree. The place where everything shifted for everyone beyond you. All right, y'all. You have a beautiful, beautiful day. Rest of your day, rest of your evening. And I can't wait to chat with you tomorrow. See you soon.